Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday, August the 25th. This is the last week in August. We're here to look at the new releases that are published in crime fiction. Specifically on Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries, things that were published this week. So you are hot off the press on these books. Hope you had a good weekend. We are quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. My next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do them every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons for a total of 10 hours of sprinting. But today we're looking at the new releases of cozy mysteries. There's a lot of them this week, making up for last week. First up, Ellie Alexander has a new one, Laying Down the Latte, 22nd in the Bake Shop Mystery Series. Baker Jules Capshaw, along with her husband Carlos and Torte's resident barista Andy, are packing their bags and preparing for the ultimate coffee excursion in Costa Rica. A fortuitous invitation from one of Carlos's former colleagues, Valentina, has them venturing to the coffee capital of the world for a tasting tour and an immersive weekend at her family's organic coffee farm. They soak in the tropical breezes, the vibrant colors, the sounds of morning birdsong, and the sweeping views of the historic coffee farm. Valentina is the ultimate host, offering them traditional meals and thrilled to have their input as she's preparing to open a coffee counter and bakery on the farm. The getaway is just what Jules needed, a chance to relax and unwind, curl up with a book and iced latte by the pool, and tinker in Valentina's kitchen, dreaming up new recipes to bring home. Except her tranquil weekend quickly turns into a nightmare when one of Valentina's employees is found dead in the pulping machine. Ew. Now Jules will have to put her vacation on hold to try and uncover the murderer before one of Torte's beloved workers becomes the next body thrown into the mix. This next one is a series I very, very, very much love and highly recommend, but do start at the beginning. This is by Grace Burrows, 10th in her Lord Julian mysteries. This is set during the Regency. A gentleman in possession of secrets. An acquaintance from Lord Julian's military years begs his lordship's help locating the fellow's missing fiancée. The young lady's family has only the flimsiest explanation for her disappearance, and the harder Julian digs for answers, the more complicated the puzzle becomes. He soon realizes that a young woman who was described as a blue stocking of no particular fortune might in fact have absconded with a hoard of gold or been kidnapped in hopes of she'd reveal the location of a literal treasure. Julian must sort through lies, scandal, family feuds, and conflicting clues, all while battling his own demons, or the course of true love might end in doom. Cindy Bell has a new one. Birthday Cake and Betrayal by Cindy Bell, 25th in the chocolate-centered cozy mysteries. Allie and Charlotte are excited to host a candy-making party at the chocolate shop to celebrate a special birthday, but things don't go to plan and the festivities are cut short when the guests start arguing. Then the guest of honor is found murdered. With their pot-bellied pig Arnold and mischievous feline friend Peaches by their side, Allie and Charlotte swap chocolate molds for sleuthing hats and are determined to find the murderer. With the town abuzz with gossip, the three quirky chocolate shop regulars, Mrs. Bing, Mrs. Kale, and Mrs. White, are eager to lend a helping hand. But the victim had a lot more enemies than friends, and it's proving a difficult case to crack. The sleuths uncover a melting pot of hidden motives, surprising secrets, and puzzling clues. Their investigative efforts lead them straight toward trouble. Will they catch the killer before they become the next victims? Recipe included chocolate cake with cherry buttercream frosting. Sour Crime Donuts by Ginger Bolton, 10th in the Deputy Donut series. coffee was required. Emily feels like a protective big sister around bubbly 20-something Izzy, a new regular whose enthusiasm for peaches and cream donuts is surpassed only by her dream to start her own business. As if blown in by an August breeze, Izzy pulls Emily into her plan to buy a property at the edge of town to grow and sell fresh produce. But she's not the only fan of Deputy Donut's peachy delights or the only patron vying to own the lush parcel of land, and the competition is fiercer than the two women imagined. Petty squabbles turn deadly when a developer with a mean streak, don't they all have that, is found murdered on the vacant stretch of land. Worse, Emily's signature donuts are spotted nearby, leading to several potential suspects who could have left their sugar-frosted fingerprints all over the crime scene, including the mayor, a handsome out-of-towner, and even sweet-to-the-core Izzy. When her detective husband discovers poisonous ingredients in the discarded desserts, a shocked Emily must reveal holes in a collection of very fuzzy facts and nab the killer before someone else takes the last bite. And number one. Death at an Irish Village by Ellie Brannigan. With 6 months left to fulfill the provisions of Uncle Nevin's will and save the fixer-upper castle she and her cousin inherited, Rain McGrath and Ciara Smith's bridal venture is finally bringing in money to unite the reluctant villagers. Some who had vehemently protested their efforts to modernize the village, they agree with Father Patrick's idea to create a group of volunteers to clean the old cemetery behind the beloved church. When a body is found by one of the historic tombstones, the cousins must work overtime to solve the newest case. The plot thickens and an unsolved crime from the past is unearthed when it's discovered that the body was on top of a fake grave that has connections to Rain's ancestors. With 2 weddings scheduled at the castle and her mother on the way, Rain fears she won't be able to balance it all, yet she rolls up her sleeves and dives into her old family journals in hopes of puzzling out not one, but 2 mysteries. I don't usually do anthologies, but I thought I would include this one real quick. This is Halloween Night Murder by Leslie Meyer, Lee Hollis, and Liz Ireland. There's usually a chill in the air when Halloween arrives, but in these 3 novellas by beloved cozy mystery authors, the crimes are even cooler than the haunted climb. Leslie Meyer has Halloween Night Murder, Lee Hollis has Death of a Halloween Night Stalker, and Liz Ireland has Mrs. Claus and the Wily Witch. Annalie Huber has a new one. I like this series. This is 8th in the Verity Kent series. August 1920, Dublin, Ireland. A fraught task keeps Verity and her husband Sidney in the country after their initial clandestine mission has been completed. The traitor Lord Ardmore is scheming to employ the deadly phosgene gas he's stolen for some terrifying purpose, and the couple will need both the Crown forces and the rebels' help to thwart him. As they pursue their quarry, they are drawn into a case involving a series of cunning and brazen jewel thefts. While many believe it is the work of the Irish rebels seeking to fund their revolution, but when Verity and Sidney are also approached by Michael Collins and the IRA to unmask the thief, they suspect he may instead be an opportunist using the political unrest as cover for his crimes. As the thief continues to pull ever more risky jobs, including targeting Verity and their friends, the couple receive new intelligence that the gas they seek may be intended for a crowded event, one that the entire world will be attuned to. They must stop Lord Ardmore at all costs, or the consequences will be devastating. Alyssa Maxwell has a new one. Murder at Ardley. Doesn't say which this is in the Gilded Newport Mysteries. Maybe it does here. Yes, book number 13. April 1903, Emma and Derek Andrews have been invited to the wedding of her cousin Reggie Vanderbilt and heiress Kathleen Nielsen at the Bellevue Mansion, Arley. Their hosts are a popular young couple who are leasing the home for the summer, Harry and Elizabeth Bessie Lear. Known for his practical jokes, Harry is the toast of parties, earning a reputation as the court jester of the Gilded Age. However, as Emma soon learns behind closed doors, he is dead serious. Following the wedding, Bessie comes to Emma for help, insisting that her husband is cruel to her in private, telling her outright he married her only for her money and finds her repulsive. Divorce is unthinkable. Now she believes he is plotting to murder her and make it look like an accident. A broken balcony railing she might have leaned on, a loose stair runner that could have sent her tumbling down a staircase, faulty brakes in the car she uses. Some would say being trapped in a loveless marriage is a fate worse than death. Not Bessie. She wants to live. Unsure if these situations are mere coincidence or up to premeditated sabotage, Emma agrees to investigate and determine if Newport's merry prankster is engaged in a cold-blooded game of life or death. End of that row. Sarah Woodbury has a new one, The Shattered King, 17th in the Gareth and Gwen Medieval Mysteries. January 1151. For most of the past year, Gareth and Gwen have been trapped between armies. Although once allies, King Owen of Gwynedd and Sir Cadell of Dubarth are now at odds, to the point that Cadell has invaded Ceredigion, seeking to recapture lands he claims Owen stole in a past war. In so doing, he has set his half-brothers against their own cousin. Although Gareth and Gwen are holding out hope that more bloodshed can be averted, by January 1151, Cadell has laid siege to Prince Hilwell's castle at Aberystwyth, and then the war takes an unexpected turn for everyone involved. Mrs. Christie at the Mystery Guild Library, first in a series, looks like, by Amanda Chapman. Tori Van Dyne is the most down-to-earth member of a decidedly eccentric old-money New York family. For one thing, as book conservator at Manhattan's Mystery Guild Library, she actually has a job. Plus, she's left uptown society behind for a quiet life downtown. So she's not thrilled when she discovers a woman in the library's Christie room who calmly introduces herself as Agatha Christie, politely requests a cocktail, and announces she's there to help solve a murder. That has not yet happened. But as soon as Tori determines that this is just a fairly nutty Christie fangirl, her socialite actress cousin Nicola gets caught up in the suspicious death of her less than lovable talent agent. Nick, as always, looks to Tori for help. Tori, in turn, looks to Mrs. Christie. The woman, whoever or whatever she is, clearly knows her stuff when it comes to crime. Aided by an unlikely band of fellow sleuths, including a snarky librarian, an 11-year-old computer whiz, and an NYPD detective with terrible taste in suits, Tori and the woman claiming to be her very much deceased literary idol begin to unravel the twists and turns of a murderer's devious mind, because in the immortal words of Miss Jane Marple, murder is never simple. A Vintage Murder by Diane Harmon. Somebody didn't proofread the words here. There's an and between her first and last name. 16th in the Ozarks Cozy Mystery Series, A Vintage Murder. When antiques dealer Della Fox is asked to look at some old items in a Victorian home, she stumbles upon a decades-old cold case involving a missing teenage girl named Lydia Bland. But just as the past begins to surface, tragedy strikes again. Eunice, the girl's aging mother, is found dead at the bottom of her stairs under suspicious circumstances. With the help of her loyal dog Moose and retired FBI agent Bryce, Della is determined to uncover the truth behind Lydia's disappearance. As secrets unfold and danger creeps closer, Della must solve the mystery before someone else ensures the past stays buried for good. Fatal Sign-Off by Sarah E. Burr, part of the Book Blogger Mysteries. By day, Arwen Winnie Lark is a quiet, introverted bookworm, but online she's the Wren, a literary influencer known for her astute reviews and cozy charm. For Winnie, life in Copper Bay, Massachusetts usually revolves around book club banter, new releases, and good food, until a notoriously nasty podcaster keels over at the local diner poisoned mid-meal. The victim made headlines and enemies by trashing Copper Bay's beloved businesses one scathing episode at a time. With suspects as numerous as titles in a bargain bin, Winnie is stunned to find many of her friends in the hot seat. Determined to rewrite this narrative, she teams up with her movie star brother and her tight-knit crew to crack the case. As grudges fester and red herrings pile up, Winnie must read between the lines, highlight every clue, and dog-ear suspects as she goes. Because in a mystery this twisted, the killer has no intention of tying up loose plot threads, and the final chapter could end with someone else getting shelved permanently. End of that row. Murder in Paris by Helena Dixon. Paris, 1937. Kitty Underhay, with a croissant in hand and her handsome husband Matt by her side, is soaking up the delightfully Parisian charms of the French capital. Kitty is full of joie de vivre, but the afternoon takes a very sour turn when she stumbles across the body of a beautiful young woman, Simone Belliste, murdered in broad daylight. Kitty and Matt are determined to work out who could be behind her death. A pair of scissors found at the scene points them towards the killer, but Simone had many admirers, and everyone has a motive, with Kitty's grandmother worried for her old friend Eliza de Tournay, whose son the police have identified as a suspect. Any accusations could easily turn out to be a faux pas, and they must tread carefully. Could it be the wealthy older Englishman who has been wooing Simone, one of her glamorous friends, or her jealous younger sister? But just as Kitty and Matt are jotting down their list of suspects, they receive a call. Simone's sister Natalie has been hurt at home with valuable possessions stolen from her apartment. Can they unravel the secrets surrounding the two sisters, or will their involvement in the case mean that they'll be next in line? Dot, dot, dot. Claws Out by Kate Conte, 9th in the Cat Cafe mystery series. After a long snowy winter in Daybreak Island, Maddie and her Cat Cafe crew are finally ready to embrace the spring, though life is anything but calm. With Val and Ethan's wedding taking center stage, Maddie finds herself juggling wedding plans alongside a new and unexpected venture. A generous donation has made her the co-owner of a traveling cat cafe truck. To kick off the new chapter, she seizes the chance to take the truck on its inaugural trip to a cat literary festival in Provincetown, accompanied by her family and some of the shelter crew. The festival is organized by the renowned cat romance author Jasmine Prescott, who also runs a beloved cat rescue foundation on Cape Cod. But when Jasmine's longtime friend and fellow author Vivi St. Clair arrives with a boatload full of drama, everything from a dangerous ex-husband to an unwanted Netflix crew, tensions run high. At first it seems like just another dose of celebrity chaos until Vivi is found murdered. As new evidence ties Maddie and her cat cafe into the investigation, Maddie must dig deeper into the tangled web of secrets, rivalries, and feline-friendly drama to uncover the truth. The question is, what's the connection between the cat cafe and Vivi's untimely death? Cozy Up to Mayhem by Colin Conway, 9th in the Cozy Up series. Sterling Carter lives in Wandering Springs, a small Washington town on the Canadian border. During the day, Sterling toils in a local bakery, learning a new craft. In his free time, he reads mystery novels, listens to his favorite music, and plays with his cat. It's not an exciting life, but it's one Sterling has learned to appreciate given his recent history. Then early morning visitors from the Great White North suddenly threaten Sterling's quiet life. These outsiders arrive and prowl the town streets, bringing with them a criminal agenda. They're hunting for an informant who they intend to abduct and whisk across the border to face unspeakable consequences. With the local cops unable to help, Sterling is forced into a dangerous game of cat and mouse. For Sterling Carter is a man with a secret, one the U.S. government has spent a lot of time and effort to keep hidden. Can he outwit the gang long enough to reach safety, or will he encounter the retribution he's tried so hard to avoid? Ghosts, Garters, and Grimoires by Teresa Crater, second in the Emerald City Paranormal Cozy Mysteries. Dana Preston's marriage is crumbling, but she's doing her best to smile through her husband's campaign fundraiser, even if she'd rather be in her jogging outfit than stuffed into heels and a bra engineered by demons. There's nothing compared to finding the new campaign manager's ghost sitting in her living room the next morning asking to find his killer. Dana joins forces with her longtime besties to hunt down possible suspects. The case gets deeper when they stumble into a deadly conspiracy, and personal when she discovers her husband's involvement. Can three midlife friends, a ghost, and a chatty dog expose a billion-dollar cover-up before another body drops? End of that row. And we'll do one more. Maddie Day has a new one. Seventh in the Cozy Capers book group mysteries. Murder at Cape Costumers. Just in time for Halloween, a new costume shop has opened on Main Street in Westham, Massachusetts. Cape Costumers is a cut above the usual seasonal pop-up stores with their flimsy mass-produced outfits and cheap plastic masks, mostly due to co-owner Shelley, a former Broadway costume designer. But when Shelley discovers her elderly boyfriend Enzo, a Broadway star who retired to Westham dead of unnatural causes, Halloween suddenly gets a lot scarier. Sleuthing Mac has found is a lot like riding a bicycle. Once you learn how, you never forget. Far from being spooked, Mac and the members of the Cozy Capers book group put down their weekly book selection and put their heads together to see past a bag of tricks and find a malice-making murderer who's hiding in plain sight. ... And that is all we have time for today. There were like 47 books in the cozy category published this week, so we got through just about half. Hope you have a good Monday. Be safe, read good books, and as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.